Good morning. It is Tuesday, November 14th. It's time for another Taco Tuesday here at WiLS. I'm Jeff Bruner. I am joined today by four of our vendor partners who are going to be showing us some really cool stuff. Here's the list of who we'll be hearing from today, and you'll be seeing me in between each of their presentations. But I'd like to keep things going and get off to a good pace right at the start here. So I'm going to turn things over to our friends from ABC-CLIO, Paul and Alice. Are you folks ready to take over?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you,
All
Jeff.
right,
And
I'll stop sharing my screen.
okay, that sounds good. And I'm going to just go off my video just to share a little bandwidth myself on this end, but I trust and hope everybody can still hear me. And welcome everybody. Let me go ahead and share my screen real quickly. And you should be seeing a slide. It says Taco Tuesday.
Yep, we see it.
Awesome. A lot of tacos there. So make everybody hungry. Welcome, everybody. We'd like to thank you, both Alice and I, for this opportunity to share ABC-CLIO with you today. This is us. I'm Paul Webb. I'm your customer success specialist here at ABC-CLIO, and along with me is Alice Bryant. You can see Alice there. Yep. Alice is our curriculum specialist here at ABC-CLIO, and we're both former librarians, and we find that ABC-CLIO, the databases are really an excellent resource for both middle or junior high and high school students. So as we share some interesting and valuable information with you, we want to help to get you know and understand our ABC-CLIO databases. If you already have our databases, if you're a current subscribing member through WiLS, this will be a quick refresher for you. If you're someone who's not yet used the databases, we hope this will help you understand the basics, actually, of the database collections. And our agenda today will look like this. We'll take on a quick tour or overview of the databases and show some of the excellent features that make ABC-CLIO an excellent choice for social studies. And then Alice will share 4 databases called the Mosaics, or the American Mosaics, that are designed to meet the needs of students and teachers that want to learn more about ethnic populations here in America, or maybe who are taking or teaching ethnic studies courses. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in live and show you our databases. So let me just go in, and you should see, let's see here. I'm going to stop my sharing real quick and go into my database page, and going to go back into the share feature and share the entire screen again. Are you seeing my ABC-CLIO customer success database page?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, this is my demo site, but I do want to stress and emphasize for those of you who maybe are new to the database collections, this is typically what a standard landing page or home page will look like. You can see that currently our suite of collections includes 17 different databases as I scroll down, just to give you a sense of what we have available here. Our 4 core, what we refer to as the 4 core, are, again, our American government, American history, our world history, ancient and medieval eras, and our world history, the modern era. These are our largest collections. They are the most, I would say, built out in terms, have the largest amount of content. For example, the world history, the modern era collection will take your students on a journey beginning with the Reformation and extending into the modern day. The world history, ancient and medieval eras, this will cover, obviously self-explanatory, ancient and ancient history up through the medieval period. And that ancient is not just, West European history. It covers global history as well. Some other databases that we have include the Daily Life Through History collection. I'm just going to open that real quick. This is a really fun collection. It examines historical development of societies around the world, focusing on more cultural and day-to-day aspects within a culture. We have our Pop Culture Universe collection. This is self-explanatory. It focuses on issues such as food, fashion, music, sports, technology, and travel from like a decade to decade perspective. Our modern genocide collection. Offers a sensitive coverage of 10 different genocides around the globe. The issues collection focuses on typically those issues that are available, maybe like in popular culture, but also like maybe present in the media. We have 2 geographies within the collection. We have both a, we have both a world geography where we explore by region, and we also have a United States geography collection as well. These geography collections, for example, world geography covers over 200 countries. We have our World at War collection. The World at War collection, let's go down and take a look at that real quick. And I'm just giving you a sense of the coverage here. Alice will go more into depth on the Mosaic collections. The World at War collections covers over 50 conflicts from ancient times up to the modern era. We have a health and wellness issues collection that is self-explanatory and focuses on themes around body systems, diet and lifestyle, environmental issues, also includes medical care, violence, abuse, and discrimination, and so forth as well. Okay. So as you can see, although our collections are, obviously focused towards social studies and history, we do have some collections that also focus on what I consider sort of like contemporary issues, providing both a historical and international perspective on those issues as well. Okay. And so I'm going to turn it now over to Alice, and she's going to talk a little bit more about what we call our American Mosaic collections. Alice, I will stop sharing.
Okay, thank you. And I will share my screen. And I think you're all seeing the demo page. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Good, thank you. Well, what's really exciting is that we have 4 databases. They're called the American Mosaics that Paul has mentioned that deal with the ethnic experiences of 4 ethnic cultures, but related to United States history. So they are the African American experience, the American Indian experience, the Asian American experience, and then the Latino American experience. What I love about these collections is that these look at the perspectives of those specific cultures in relationship to American history with a sensitive perspective. And I think that's so important because as educators, we're dealing with middle, junior, and high schoolers. And I think that adding that perspective is really important so that they also have empathy and concern when it relates to those specific ethnicities. So one of the things I want to do is I'm going to take you in and I'll do a deeper dive into the African American experience and show you a little bit about that. As Paul opened the databases, you could see that there's some uniformity, which I love. I think it's so excellent for your students to see that things are consistent. So in this case, this is a historical database, the African American experience, so students can explore by time periods. So if I click the Show All button, then you can see all the different time periods from Africa and the Atlantic, which is, of course, long, long ago, and all the way into modern times. So I want to open up the Progressive Era. First of all, I love that image. So when I open this era up, what happens is it opens to different themed topic centers. So the first theme is diverse political strategies, 1895 to 1915, as you can see. And then the next theme is the Great Migration. So what I wanted to do today is open up what we call a topic center, which is and this one is on W.E.B. Du Bois. And I wanted to share with you what a topic center looks like, because I think it's such an excellent way to present information to students. And it also really brings in the inquiry piece. So this article about W.E.B. Du Bois is written with an overview first. There's a really beautiful image that you could do perhaps a bell ringer with or an introductory activity with your students. And then this overview article is really great at explaining about W.E.B. Du Bois, and then also a lot of other areas and a lot of other ideas. For example, the Niagara Movement, international objectives, and all of these things also have hyperlinks in them. So if your students are like, what do you mean by that? I need more information. They can just click in and an article appears on, for example, the Niagara Movement. So I wanted to make sure that you could see how easy it is to click back and forth. Then if I take you up to the top here, you're going to see this left sidebar. In all of the mosaics, they'll all look like this. They'll have an overview, highlighted entries, and then they'll have activities and a topic library. So now I want to mention activities because they're just so excellent. So here we go. This is an activity and it's in 4 parts. Students receive some instruction. They receive application. Then they are going to have a worksheet that they fill out. And the purpose of this activity worksheet is to understand and compare and contrast the differences between Booker T and W.E.B. Du Bois in terms of their philosophies about advancement post-Reconstruction. So this really requires some inquiry, some thought, and some critical thinking. And then in addition, if I head to the bottom, you'll see that the students will have sources from which they can draw their conclusions. And so these activities are excellent in terms of building inquiry and critical thinking. So let me take you in and just share a couple other databases with you so you can see that how consistent they are. In the American Indian experience, I can open that quickly and share with you that it's, again, done by historical time periods, as you can see. And if I open up the Great Depression and World War II and look at those themed areas, you'll see the New Deal and supporting the war effort. And then there is a topic center on the Navajo Code Talkers. And the activity associated with that one is, the question is, how did Navajo Code Talkers support the war effort? And then students again have application and resources. If I switch the database again to the Asian American experience, which is our newest database, it's beautifully done. If I open that one for you, you'll see just the wide variety of different time periods, all the way into the modern new millennium. And if I look at immigration and community building, you can see this really great topic center in Angel Island. There's an example here of what the center of Angel Island looked like. And then the activity is about the poetry of Angel Island. And students are asked to put together and work on a poetry analysis guide. And they're guided through that in this worksheet. I know we're getting near our time, but I just wanted to share that these worksheets are also fillable and they're savable, and students can very easily send those back to their instructors. One last database that I want to share with you is the Latino American experience. Again, that consistent content, exploring by time periods. You can see all of them. And then this one I wanted to share because sometimes in our topic centers, we have more than one activity. Here's one on Mexican independence. And so beautiful image again, great article, highlighted entries. And this activity has with it that inquiry question. And the first activity asked, what were some of the causes of the Mexican War of Independence? And then the second activity looks at how did Father Hidalgo and his El Grito de Dolores influence the Mexican fight for independence, which was a little bit more difficult. So as you can see, we scaffold from one activity to the next. So we've got about a minute. Does anybody have any questions?
Else, I don't see any questions.
Okay, one last thing I'll show you and then I'll hand this off because it is 11:44 is if you see right here, you're looking at what we call the curriculum guide. This curriculum guide connects to our educator support site. So I could click for educator support. It's exclusively for educators here or here. When I click the curriculum guide here and I'm logged in as an educator, what this does, it takes me to this exact page that's designed for educators. And then if I look at that activity, for example, the first one, the causes of the war for independence, you'll see the exact same thing that the students see. But what I wanted to share here, and this is specifically for educators, they can download this whole activity as a PDF. So if I click on that, hopefully it can open up. Looks like it's going. There it is. And the activity is really designed for educators so they can look at it, examine it. They have further clarifying questions. They have transcripts. They have the entire lesson right here with the activity. So I wanted to make sure that you knew for educators that that was available. And now I will stop sharing. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, both Alice and Paul. Always really cool to have you here for Taco Tuesday. I always like to see what's going on at ABC-CLIO. Thanks
you
for joining us.
Thanks.
Moving along to our next presenter, I'm just going to share my screen very briefly to get us set up for our next presenter, which is, or who is, Megan, joining us from Creativebug. Megan, are you ready to take over?
I am, thank you.
Right.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen as well so we can do a brief demo of the site. And Jeff, I'm just going to ask you to show me a thumbs up when you can see my screen. Great. All right. As Jeff mentioned, my name is Megan Haddad-Null. I am the Senior Library Account Manager for Creativebug. I am also a former librarian, so in good company here with Alice and Paul. And I'm going to go ahead and stop my video as well, but I just wanted to show my face before I go ahead and share my screen. So Creativebug is an online resource for arts and crafts instruction. It is really a streaming video platform for art and craft how-tos. And as you can see, it is, if you're familiar at all with streaming video sites, you're probably going to find it relatively easy to navigate through Creativebug's offerings. There are a few different ways that you can search and browse through the site, so I'll take you through those right now. As you can see, the very first thing you'll see here when you log into Creativebug is that you're getting this kind of class image that we have. This is an image from our most recent daily practice, and I'll talk through that a little bit later in the presentation. I can click on that if I just want to go ahead and start watching. I can view all classes here, and then if I scroll down, you'll also see some additional carousels that will show some options for me to pick up where I left off with classes I've been watching, some recommended classes, our daily practice series, some of our new releases, popular classes, seasonal classes, etc. So our homepage is definitely organized in carousels, similarly to a lot of other streaming video platforms you may be familiar with. If you are someone who prefers to search, we do have that basic search function. You can just do a keyword search here. Our search bar does have a drop down, so you can search by a number of different criteria here, depending on what you're looking for. I'll just do a basic keyword on quilting. And you'll see here we get 129 results. If you're somebody with a lot of time, you can stick with that, or you can choose to filter that down to whatever, based on whichever criteria you prefer. I'm just going to click on techniques here so we can see some of the techniques that we offer within the quilting category. And you can go ahead and select any one of those classes just by clicking on that. You'll also see here below the class list, each of the instructors' names is hyperlinked. So if you want to, again, kind of narrow it down by the specific instructor, you can click on that. Each of the classes has a rating, which you can also see listed below the class image. If you prefer to browse, that's also an option. We have all of our classes organized by category and subcategory. So just kind of going down from here, you can see if I hover over any of our class categories, you'll see the subcategories populate, and I can click on any of those to populate the classes that I would be looking for. I am going to show you briefly also what the class page itself looks like, and I'm going to do that by selecting the daily practice series. Daily practices are unique in that they are released every single day of the month. We don't have a daily practice every month, but during the months that we do, such as this month of November, you'll see that we have a series of classes that align with the days of the month. So we have 30 classes this month. of which only the first 14 have been released thus far. So if you're somebody who's interested in just kind of a brief glimpse into a specific craft on a daily basis, this is a great way to get some familiarity with a specific craft as well as do some skill building. These are also great opportunities to use Creativebug as part of your library's programming because they are very short videos and you can do a series of these over the course of a period of time. So I'm going to go ahead and just resume where I left off, and we will be watching day 3. A few things I'll show you about the class player. As you may notice right off the bat, we do have captions available for all of our videos. And then just a few of the features in the class page. You can rewind 10 seconds. So if you wanted to watch the last 10 seconds again, you can do that. You can advance to the next chapter, adjust volume settings. You can add annotations, which is also a great feature that I like to point out to librarians who may be interested in using these classes for programming. Expand, you can Chromecast, you can toggle the captions on and off, and actually you can also change the playback speed here as well, which is also very helpful for skill building if you're doing learning a new technique or need to rewatch something or slow it down. So just some basic features and functionality. The chapter list is here in the right-hand panel. I can also add this to my watch list if I want to save that, and I am able to share my watch list as well. Below the class page, you'll see a full list of materials, which is also available for download. There is this particular class also has additional resources that can be downloaded and saved as well. Not all of our classes have this, but many of them do, and all of those downloadable PDFs are yours to keep, regardless of your subscription status. We also have what's called learning journeys. Our learning journeys are, again, an opportunity for skill building. It is a series of classes that is set up to guide you through the A to Z of a specific craft. So in this particular example, I'll use art of bookmaking. So you can see that there are a number of classes in this series. This is the learning journey for how to make a book. So you start with Anatomy of a Book by Jody Alexander and progress all the way down to the Daily Book Art Challenge. So this is one of our daily practice series where you would use the skills that you have learned in the earlier part of the learning journey to create your own book. We have additional resources as well. So I'll show you our calendar. This is where you can access our newly released and upcoming classes. We do have at least 2 live stream events every single month, and those are recorded and added to our library of classes. Instructor pages can also be found here. This automatically sorts based on most newly released to least newly released. So the most recently released instructor names will show up at the top of this list. We have a blog, which is a fantastic resource for librarians. This blog often has a lot of printable crafts, which can be used as take and makes. I did sort of mention earlier in the presentation that public performance rights are included with the subscription. Those extend to all of our blogs and printables and things that can be accessed through our administrative portal as well, which I will again show you in just a couple of minutes. So this is just a great resource if you wanted to do take and makes or have some printable projects around the library that you can share with patrons. We have a pattern library. Just again, another resource, a great way to use some of those printables that we create. Oftentimes they are aligned with library themed events. So you can see we have one that's specifically related to Library Card Sign Up Month, which took place in September. So a variety of things here that you can access and download and share with patrons. And then we also have class collections. These are just another way that we present a set of themed classes around a specific type of craft or a specific type of project. I am going to briefly talk you through what the administrative portal looks like as well. So I'll just give you a brief glance at our dashboard. This is where you can look at usage information. You can see the total number of subscriptions your library has, the total number of classes available on our site. We're constantly updating and adding to the features and functionality in the admin portal as well to make it as user-friendly as possible. We also have resources available that include marketing and training materials. We include a custom landing page QR code for each of our library partners, and that can be added to any printable posters or shelf talkers, anything that you share in the library. So that's specific to your library's landing page. And then we also offer MARC records that can be added to your library's site as well that helps with discoverability. And those are at the class level. Finally, I will show you an example of one of our programming guides. This is specifically for spring 2024. You're getting a little sneak peek at the programming guides that we release twice a year, one in the spring, one in the fall. And these are a great way for programming librarians to help organize some of the upcoming programs using our classes as a jumping off point. So either as inspiration or as the direct instruction if you don't feel comfortable teaching people how to do a specific craft. So it's just a really great way to extend the expertise of library staff in craft categories and crafting programs. So with that, I will wrap up my presentation. I know that we just have a few minutes left, and I want to leave time just in case there are any questions.
Megan, I'm not seeing any questions yet, but anyone should feel free to chime in by text or in the Q&A module if you have any.
All right, that sounds great. Well, I will hand it back over to you. I know I'm running a little bit ahead of my schedule, so.
I think that's okay.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Megan. I really like it when you come in and visit us because you're the thing, Creativebug is a thing that seems super unique. It's not something that I see from other providers. I don't know if anybody else is providing this kind of content for libraries. So that's really exciting.
Well, thank you.
Okay, why don't I bring us back to sharing my screen again one more time to get us ready for our next presenter. So up next today is Alex Deeb, who is coming to us from ClassHook. Alex, we're a little bit ahead of schedule, but are you ready to go?
Yeah, all ready to go.
Okay, fantastic. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so you can take over.
Sure. Thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate it and really appreciate the time here with everyone. So hi everyone, I am Alex. I am the co-founder and CEO of ClassHook. I put my video up just like everyone else so you can see my face. I'm gonna turn the video off, but I'm really excited to share how we can help you engage every student using TV show and movie clips. And many of you are probably already doing this in class, or you're working with teachers who are trying to incorporate more engaging ways to bring content and curriculum to students that taps into their interests. And we're here to help you with that. So I have a slide deck with just a few quick slides on some background because we are a newer company and many of you may not be familiar with us. So I just wanted to provide a little background before diving right into a quick demo on how you can use this with your educators and how your educators can also leverage ClassHook. So one of the big problems we're focused on is helping make learning more relevant for students. And even today, right, with students going on TikTok and not just not having the patience that we had growing up to sit and listen to content and listen to a teacher talk, in a lecture, it's just not there. And so a lot of educators are looking for ways to make learning more relevant. Actually, 89% of educators say that creating these sorts of learning connections for students that make learning relevant is an urgent need, and just 22% of schools are actually making progress on that. And so we know finding engaging content is hard. Teachers spend 10 hours a week on YouTube and Google and all these other sources trying to bring great curriculum content into the classroom. And this is because, you need to make sure it's appropriate, It's aligned to grade levels and standards. It's safe to use, and all this other criteria that makes it take so long. And the existing platforms like YouTube and Google that you're using are not really built for educators. They just have educational content on them. And so what we do at ClassHook is we help you find popular media content to bring into the classroom environment, or for you as a librarian or media specialist to curate resources for your educators that they can then use in ClassHook. I mean, in class rather. So as you can tell, we are more of an instructional resource used by school librarians, but we are also in talks with many libraries who want to offer this as a community benefit to their constituents. So we'll take titles like Frozen, Moana, The Simpsons, The Office, and we'll find little educational bits from them, and then we'll connect that to a discussion platform so that educators can have really thoughtful discussions with students about how this content relates to what they're learning. And it's great for piquing interest. Uh, we have about 7,400 videos on the website, so it is pretty interesting to see what you can find in TV shows and movies. I'm always going and writing down notes whenever I watch a movie now to see what kind of references I can find. Quick fact, there's a Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse has some references on Metaphor that I caught when I was watching it just last week on a flight. So we do all the legwork for you in terms of finding the content, which is making sure it's age appropriate. We organize the content by topic and unit, we align it to educational standards, and we vet it for accuracy. Because there's a lot of Hollywood physics and inaccuracies in what we're watching. We make sure that's all, for lack of a better term, kosher so that you can show it in the classroom and it's safe to use. And so teachers really love using ClassHook. Just a few use cases here. We have a lot of middle school and high school educators using ClassHook, but we do have use at the elementary level. And so what they like to use ClassHook for is to start that discussion about a topic. Maybe you're teaching math, you're teaching fractions. You can start with a clip from Abbott and Costello, if anyone knows that show, about how he does math wrong. He does 7 into 28. And so um, other teachers use it as a jumping off point to help students feel that connection to their learning. And so there's a lot of different uses for it. And I want to take a few minutes here to walk you through the platform and showcase how you can actually leverage it. So I just wanted to share that background there. Let me share a different window on my screen so that you can all see what I am going to share here. And if you just give me one moment here. Okay, here we are. So on ClassHook, when you log in, you set up your account. If you're a librarian media specialist or you set it yourself up as an ELA teacher or a math teacher, you're going to get recommended video clips that you can then use. And so you can see we have Shrek, we have Amanda Show, SpongeBob. Some of these might look a little familiar. And you're going to be able to go in and find one of those clips and use that right away in just a few seconds, actually. If you did want to filter, you can filter here by a specific grade level. So maybe you like middle school content, and you want content that's only between 2 to 4 minutes long. It's going to be able to showcase those videos there. You have a lot of different filters here on different series, media types, genres, even decades. So you can get very granular with what you're looking for. And maybe you have a lesson on a specific theme or a specific idea. These filters allow you to find content that's really tailored to the lesson or to what your educator is going to be teaching. So if I click on one of the videos here, it's going to give me a few pieces of information. One, I'm going to be able to watch the video right from here without any ads, because we do have a partnership with YouTube for Education. So you're going to have a special video player that doesn't have those distractions or tracking or ads. Other pieces of information are the grade levels this is associated with. So this is elementary school and middle school. You're also going to have tags as to what this teaches. So this is teaching language arts, more specifically literal language and non-literal language. That can be a confusing topic for some students. So showcasing that difference in a video might be a really good way to introduce that topic. We also give you a description about every video. So a lot of educators use that to determine if it's a video they want to even preview. And something I want to point out is the videos are very short. they're only between 1 to 5 minutes in length. And this particular video is just at, just a little longer than 3 minutes long. So you can play the video here. I'm not going to play it now. I'm just going to play it to show you the video controls. So we do have captions for the videos. We have video controls, like you can adjust the playback speed. And we have a few ways to interact with the videos. So you can make these videos interactive in the classroom by embedding questions in them and then allowing students to respond to those questions. So one of those features is called pause prompts. So you're just going to go to the moment where you want the question, and you're going to either click the pause prompts tab here or this little button right under the video that says add prompt. And then you're going to be able to choose where you want your prompt. And then you're just going to type what is the example of non-literal language. You can set a timer or not, maybe make it 3 minutes, and then you can add that. And so that's added. Now, when the educator or you want to show it in class, you'll have this already set up and ready to go. And then when you play the clip to the class, I'll just wait a few seconds here. It's going to show that prompt. And so this is great for a full class discussion. Our goal here is to get students to start talking more about what they're learning. And this is the great way to check for understanding and make sure students are conveying or not misled by what's in the video. If maybe you have a physics example or you have an example of a confusing topic, you want to use these prompts as a way to get students to think and let you know what they think so that you can make sure they're understanding what you want them to get out of the video. So that's pause prompts. There's another discussion feature here. If you click add a question, we'll give you question templates so you can use these to test or assess students in different skills. So let's say I want students to practice evaluating videos. This is more geared towards an older set of students. You could find a question here and you can fill in the blanks. So how do you prove this is non-literal language, or disprove that this is literal language? So these templates are great starting off points. So you have inspiration and ideas for how to leverage and integrate this video into your instruction, wherever that may be, whether it's at the beginning, middle, or end. So I've added that question. Great. Well, there's all this talk about AI, and we've integrated generative AI into the platform as well. So with just this one button, I can click generate questions. And in a few seconds, it's going to give me a few questions that I could ask to my students. And I can customize those questions however I'd like. A lot of educators use this just to get the ideas flowing, right? It's about ideas and inspiration for how to integrate this as much as it is having the content itself. And so if you couldn't tell, the platform is designed not only to give you the video content, but to help you use that effectively in a lesson with students. And so here are 2 questions that were generated. I could take one of those and use it as my own, and then I could customize it however I'd like. So those are the questioning features. We do have alignment to educational standards as well, Common Core and Next Gen Science standards. So you'll see that right here under the video. And then there are going to be comments from educators as well about how this they use this video or what they think of the video here. Now, if you want to curate resources for educators, this is the playlist feature is a great one. So you're just going to click add to playlist. And at the top, and what I can do is create my own playlist, and I can say, WiLS library, and then click create. And then at the bottom, I'm going to just one click add that to my playlist. And so what I can do here is go to my playlists, find the playlist I created. And this is basically a collection for educators of videos they can use on a specific topic, a specific unit. However you want to organize it, you can do that. And then you can even share this with educators, or you can make them collaborators and just give them this link, and then they'll be able to build the playlist with you. So we see a lot of media specialist librarians using this playlist feature to curate resources, especially if you're a resource librarian, to curate resources for educators and help them save time finding content. Now, in terms of saving time, I just wanted to point out that we do also give you suggestions for videos you could integrate into your playlist. So even this is named, WiLS Library, and it's about ELA. It's going to give me some recommended clips on logic and different concepts that if I wanted to use one of them, I can just one click add, and that's in my playlist. So however you want to use the videos in this playlist feature, you have that flexibility. And if you did want to add more clips, you can just click add and then search for videos, however you want. Like if you want to type simile or metaphor or something. So that's how you could use videos on ClassHook. I want to talk about one more feature before we wrap up here. And actually, the point I didn't mention is that you could search for the content on ClassHook. So if you just type in whatever you're going to teach, or you want to help a teacher teach, you type in simile, and then it's going to give you content about simile. And in just a few seconds, I found that content. So much better than going to YouTube and trying to parse what's good and what's not. I want to show you the vocabulary finder. So this is a great way you can help educators, or you could help your students learn vocabulary words. And we know that's a big focus, especially with growing populations of students whose first language is not English. You want to help them grasp the language better. So I'm just going to type in a word here and experiment. And what this is going to do is going to show me what the clips are, and then it's going to show me where that word is used in each of the videos and the context in which it's used. So imagine using this as you're giving more examples to students on how that word is used, or you're giving students an inferencing activity, so they have to infer what the meaning of the word is based on its use in the dialogue. If you click on any of these timestamps, it's going to bring you right to the video and where that word is used, and then you can see in the captions here, right? It's going to say the word experiment. So you don't have to go digging through the video to try to find where that moment is. We have a lot of other features here. I'm not going to go through them all because we don't have time, but if you want to compare videos, or you want to browse videos by subject or genre or standards, you can do that. I did want to show how educators use ClassHook. So under the help, we do have a lot of use cases and support resources. And a lot of educators use ClassHook, hence the name, as a hook, to capture student attention and get students really willing and ready to learn. Because if they're not willing and ready to learn, you're going to have trouble teaching them throughout the rest of the lesson. So the hook is really important, but not just the hook. Educators use it to reinforce concepts, to illustrate them, or to exaggerate points. Going back to that literal and non-literal language example, that clip from the Amanda show is a huge exaggeration of the literal versus non-literal language. And students will really know the difference after watching that. Maybe if they were on the fence or they were confused. So that's ClassHook. Just to showcase the pricing super quick. We're a freemium service, so you can come in and start using ClassHook for free. We do have licenses for individual educators, schools, districts, and we have many Wisconsin librarians who are signing up for ClassHook because they can use it, or their teachers can use it. So we'd love to be able to work with you. And if there are any questions, please put them in the chat. That concludes my quick presentation here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex. Really cool resource for our classrooms, and what I like most, I think, is like the time saving. It's something that our educators want to do anyway, but this collects these kinds of clips and these little illustrations of concepts without having to spend just hours poring over things, trying to find video, maybe trying to edit it yourself or something. It's already there, so that's really great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to share my screen one more time to get us ready for our last presentation for today. We are joined today by Pam. Pam is coming to us from LibraryH3lp. Pam, are you ready to take the reins?
I think I am ready to go, yeah.
All right, I'll stop sharing my screen so that you can take over.
All right, give me a minute. I am terribly clumsy with all of this.
No problem.
Does that look like I am sharing my screen?
Yes, it does.
Okay, hooray. So I'll see if I can make this into slideshow. So this is kind of a cool opportunity for us here. Our flagship product for many years, over a decade now, has been LibraryH3lp, which is primarily a chat, real-time help desk platform. And we have begun to work on a slightly different product called Library Help Desk, which is all about tickets. And this sort of came out of a need to support something other than chat, really, for larger organizations than could comfortably use our little email module that comes with LibraryH3lp. So this is still a kind of a development work in progress, but it's coming along pretty nicely. And if you're interested in getting notified when it's available for use, you can certainly leave your name in the chat. So let me get going here. So Library Help Desk is all about tickets. Tickets are an inquiry management system. Usually when you have a question of some kind of organization, they're going to make you a ticket. And the ticketing system is what kind of allows your question to not get lost or to be tracked really readily. So with Library Help Desk, tickets can be created through web forms. It has a built-in nice web form designer, or through direct staff entry. So if you're staffing a help desk and somebody walks up, you can create a ticket for the guest if you need to, for the patron. Tickets can be assigned statuses like in progress or blocked or whatever, or closed. They can be transferred within an organization. Help desk supports queues and departments. It has notification emails both to staff and to clients, or clients are the patrons. And it really allows managers to keep an eagle eye on the status of everything. So if you're a manager in a pretty big shop, you can kind of take a quick look and see what's kind of stalled, what might need a nudge, what might be blocked, and you can help get in there and unblock it. So let me try to give you a quick tour here. I would like to do this full thing live, but I'm having this strange network problem and my responsiveness is not always good. So I'm going to rely on some slides too. But this is what we call the ticket triage view. So right now we only have two little tickets. You can click on a ticket and you can see the details about it. So this ticket is from Esme Squalor. She wants to know, where is the sugar bowl? I am currently watching Lemony Snicket and I'm obsessed. So there you go. So currently what's going on with this ticket is it was created at 12:06 and Pam Sessoms transferred it to Special Collections and Archives. So at this point, the ticket could be updated. We could say something like, let's assign it to Pam. I don't think I'm in that department, but we'll see what happens. We could say it's in Heimlich Hospital. And this is the part where my network has been letting me down. Ordinarily, this would be a very quick instant update, but it's probably going to take a couple of seconds here to actually kind of make the trip round and back. I'm not sure if you all have seen or read the Lemony Snicket series of unfortunate events. It's pretty cool. Well, I guess while we're waiting on that, I can, there we go. Okay, so here's my note. It's in Heimlich Hospital. It's not really there though, so that would require a further ticket update. But to continue our basic tour, ticket triage defaults to tickets that are not yet closed. If I turn off the not closed filter, I can see all of the tickets, including the closed ones. There's a start over button so that I can revert back to just what I'm interested in. I can filter by queue, so I can just look at Special Collections. They only have the one active ticket at the moment. And you can also filter, I'll put it back to everything. You can also filter by keyword, which is really, really handy. So I remembered something about an umbrella. Did anybody turn a small black umbrella into the lost and found? Yeah. It's kind of a good way to get free umbrellas. So anyway, this is the ticket triage list. This is where most of the day-to-day action will occur. There's a dashboard view, and this is what lets your manager kind of take a look and see what's, what could be stuck, what's going on. Right now, there's nothing unclaimed, so that's really good. Settings is where we have the management type stuff, so I can manage my web forms and my notification templates. So let me get back into the slides and we'll talk about those things a little bit more. Okay. So tickets are created through, the direct ticket interface. There's a screenshot of that there on the screen. So, your staff that are receiving phone calls or working with people at a help desk can certainly manage their tickets that way. They can set the queue, provide the client email, other contact information, collect all the details. And then the patron can hang up or walk away, and their request will be trickling through the system. You can also have tickets created through web forms. Help desk has a nice web form designer that lets you have all sorts of different inputs. You can have radio buttons, drop downs, plain text, all that kind of stuff. So this is a screenshot of that. On the left is the web form designer, and on the right is how it looks actually deployed on the web. And we already looked at ticket triage a little bit. So let me show you the form designer. The Zoom stuff is just a little bit on top of my other stuff. There we go. Okay. So here's the form designer. And here is the form that's in the form designer, but deployed on the web. So I can make a ticket for myself. I always use this Hotmail address for my clients. I put a drop down on here for status. That's kind of an important one. So I will say I am unaffiliated, and then there's a submit button. So I can click that and it will come through here. But what I mostly wanted to show you was how easy the form designer is to use. So let's say I wanted to change that submit button. I could say something like send it. And I can save that. Here's my success feedback, but now if I reload the form, the little button now, it's kind of grayed out, but it says send it. So you can modify, your web forms simply by working in the little interface here. You could modify the title. How can we help you today? Click save. And there we go. The embed code is nice and tidy. To move a Zoom thing again. If we click embed, that is what you need to put on your web page, the script right here. And then once it's on your web page, you can fully control the form through the editing interface here. And you can have any number of forms. When you make a new one, sorry, I keep having to move my stuff. When you make a new one, you get something that will work straight out of the box. It's got a title, it's got a place for email address, subject, and question. Supports hidden fields. For example, if you're making a web form, you may not want the guest to have to fill out the subject. You might want to provide a boilerplate subject, which is what we have done in Help Desk here. So if I go and look at my tickets, this is the one that I just put in, Tester and Taco Tuesday. And you can see that the question says main page ask form. And I never entered that as the guest. It's just it's the hidden subject inside that form. And then my actual question was Tester and Taco Tuesday. So from here, I could claim it for myself and go on, walk it through all the statuses and so forth. There is also a button here to also share comment with client. And that kind of gets into the next major component, which is notification templates. So I'm going to go back to the slides. Oh, we talked about that. So, you know, clients in particular will probably need to get emails to know where their ticket is in progress. So they will receive emails by default when a ticket is created, when it's closed, and also when the staff specifically flag for the note to go to the client. Otherwise, as the staff are working on it, since it may go through, you know, a lot of staff and a lot of notes, they don't need to see all of that unless you want them to, and you can design your templates so that they do. But when it comes out of the box, Help Desk will do it on those 3 triggers: creation, resolution, and specific note that needs to go to the client. The email notification templates have kind of fine-grained trigger actions, so you can define templates that what the emails will look like when various things happen. So when the ticket is created, when it's transferred, when it's closed, you can control all of the wording on those. There's distinct email templates for staff and clients because you generally want the wording to be different. You can also customize them per queue. So if you want the notifications to read differently for special collections than for the main library or for IT, you can customize them that way. Staff also get notification emails. So they can kind of receive an email when they need to look at something. That's good for people that are not going to be in the help desk interface all the time on a day-to-day basis, but they might periodically get referred a question. They'll get that notification email and it'll have a link that they can use to get in and update the ticket. They can also just reply to the notification email and it'll get associated with the ticket as well that way. There is a notification template designer. Probably the screenshot there is just fine to look at. So you can set which queue it's active for, if not everything, what the trigger is it created, is it transferred, is it closed, the subject line, and then the HTML. It has a very simple little templating language so that things like the client name and client email dynamically get swapped into the notification itself. And this is a screenshot of the dashboard. I think I showed you this before when we were doing our little tour. But those headings, the green outlined unclaimed, the manager can click on that unclaimed and go and look directly at specifically which tickets are unclaimed to give them a high-level overview and quick drilling down into the problem tickets that need a little bit of extra help. I think that's about it. Again, this is a project that's in development. You can drop us an email or a phone call there if you would like to be notified when it's kind of ready for some more aggressive beta testing. We have a beta test partner and we might be wanting another 1 or 2.
Pam, that's great. It's really exciting to see something so new. Well, you know, it's not even out yet. We're getting like a sneak preview of a new platform and a new tool for our members. That's really great. I would love to know more as things start to progress and as they certainly when you're ready to release. We'd love to be part of making sure everybody knows that they can get hold of this thing.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Pam, and thank you to everyone for coming to present to our members, and for those of you watching, thank you for joining us today for Taco Tuesday. I'm going to just kind of remind everybody that we have that we do this every other week for a few more weeks anyway, or a few more sessions. It's hard to believe we're coming to the end of the year already, but our next Taco Tuesday will be on November 28th at this same time, 11:30 a.m. Central Time. And then in December, we are doing 2 of them, but they're going to be, we're kind of trying to get them done before the holidays. So I think we'll have back-to-back Tuesdays coming up in December, but more on that coming soon. Thanks again to everybody who joined us today. If you have questions about any of the resources you've seen today, I know none of the folks on the call will mind getting direct messages from you, but certainly you can also reach out to us here at WiLS and keep an eye out for the follow-up email, which will include recordings of these sessions and contact information for all of our presenters today. Thanks everyone again for joining us, and I hope everybody has a great afternoon.